Read a lot of guys on this offense struggled mightily on Saturdays last year. It's just a scrimmage tomorrow, but can that help, get these guys back into playing football the way they know they can?
There's no doubt. I mean, a big part of this, trying to regain our edge, our confidence. And I thought last week was good because we were so much better in scrimmage 2 than 1. We weren't anywhere near where we need to be. We turned the ball over a little bit. But execution-wise, it gave our guys a little bit of a boost. And we just got through talking about it after practice. Tomorrow for us as coaches is great because not only do we get to evaluate the X's and O's and all that in another scrimmage, but there's people in the stands now. How are we going to respond? Hey, I just told the offense, we come out and score the first 3 drives, great, now what? I mean, there's a whole game left. It's not over. Same thing, you come out, we're dropping balls, we're not executing, we look sloppy. Now what are we going to do? We go 3 and out a couple times. That's what I want to see. How are we going to respond? How's that? We have that winning mentality that we feel like we're developing. Because that's how football is. I mean, the whole game goes like this. In the SEC, every game there's ups, there's downs. Can't get too high, get too low. It'll be good to see how everybody responds. Quarterbacks, receivers, line, the whole deal in as game-like a setting as we can get them in.
Can you talk about, are you guys going to run any Wildcat tomorrow, or is that just something wait to concentrate on the fall?
We might do it just a little. We've concentrated so much on just base stuff. I mean, it's been like, there hadn't been a lot of scheming going on. Defense either. I mean, it's been, let's just learn to play football with our philosophies and our systems the way we want to. That's been our number one goal, get a foundation. We do have some of that in, but it won't be a heavy dose, but you might see it sprinkled in there just a little, but not to the level that it could be and will be.
Who are your main guys?
Trevon and Quan have been kind of repping there right now.
I know that the goal is to have a 2 deep in place, at least tentatively after spring. How much of that do you feel like you kind of know right now, and then how much is going to really depend on what you see in front of the crowd on A-Day?
As coach, we got a pretty good idea. You get 12 practices in, a couple left. We got a pretty good idea of what we think, but tomorrow will be good because it's really our 3rd scrimmage. So it's like if you had 3 tests in class, it's the 3rd one. Let's see where we're at. But the other one is too. You said it. How are we going to respond? There may be a guy who's done great all spring. Man, he gets out there in front of the lights and he's like a deer in the headlights. And there also may be a guy and he needs that big stage to kind of come on. And we'll learn more then. So there's still things that could change. Nothing's been said or set in stone, but we have an idea. But tomorrow is not only probably our last big evaluation, maybe the best, like I said, because it's the most game-like we can get.
Rhett, in 09, 10, and 11, you guys faked the speed sweep a lot. Like Ontario was the guy doing that. Will you guys do a lot of that, in 13?
Could. We've got some of that we've been working on. I mean, it all is going to go back to once we feel like we know what our too deep is and where we're putting guys, we're going to do what we do, but we're going to try to also do the things that our guys do well and to give them the best chance to be successful. And if that'll be an advantage for us, then you bet.
So why you guys stayed so much in base, just because you're trying to evaluate before you start scheming?
Yeah, and evaluate and get our guys to execute and learn the scheme. And like I said, our theory is, and everybody's different, is it's not how many plays that you can run. We're not trying to come out of spring with saying, hey, we got a great quantity of plays. We ran our whole playbook, and they all know what to at least line up and do. It's how many things can we execute well, the quality of it. And I would much rather come out of spring with 10 plays that we know how to execute extremely well against any look, no matter what they're doing, blitz, no blitz, all that, than come out of spring saying I got 40 plays in, but we can't run any of them worth a flip, And so that's been the mentality. And if we get the foundation, it's no different than if you get a foundation, you can build everything else on top of it. If you don't have a good foundation, then you just got a bunch of stuff. And that's been our philosophy always, not just this year, especially when you come in new. And so it's just kind of the approach we've taken.
How many plays do you feel comfortable with right now?
Like a number?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I hadn't even thought about it that way, With what we got in, we should be able to execute fairly well. I mean, we're not by any means where we need to be, but we feel like we've got the right amount of stuff in our foundation, and now it's going to be a matter of going out there and doing it and not panicking, not freaking out in front of a crowd, and then just cleaning it up these last few days. But I think if we can finish, and that's another thing, when it comes to competing, we got to be able to finish. And if we can finish spring off right, I think we're on the right track.